Luis Severino's season is in absolute shambles.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias, and this episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, I'm not even going to ask what's going on. We know what's going on, and it's not good.
Please keep your hands, feet, and objects inside the roller coaster at all times. That's what's going on. Hey, on today's show, of course, we have some bold predictions for the final series of the proverbial first half. Of course, the All-Star break starts on Monday. Yanks, Cubs this weekend. We're going to make some bold predictions later on in the show. Of course, it's Fanmail Friday. Every day, as already know, every Friday is Fanmail Friday. We have a bunch of answers for your questions coming up. Stacey, we need to talk about Luis Severino, however, first. 2 2/3 last night, 10 hits, 7 earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts, gave up a solo shot in the first. It is really hard right now to say good things about Luis Severino's performance this season.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a good thing he only had 1 home run, but so many other hits in that performance. And just as we discussed before we went on the air, so flat, and everything was in the zone. Like, there was no deception there at all. He was basically throwing batting practice, and the Orioles took advantage of it. It was just so frustrating, but also sad to watch. It's just, what the hell happened to him?
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling because we've seen some outings that have been decent this year.
Yeah.
I think I noticed it early, and I texted our subtexters, information in the episode description. I texted our subtexters, careful, because Sevy's looking weird to lefties. He was looking weird to lefties early on in the game. And it was, a couple of glimpses. And to be fair, I was watching the game on my phone. So, could just be me. But it looked like his shoulder was kind of flying open. He was really showing the ball a lot. Like he was, like you mentioned, no deception. Lefties could see it the whole way, and that's what was tagging him very early on. The Gunnar Henderson at bats, the Cedric Mullins at bats. It was the fastball that just was, like you said, batting practice.
Yeah.
It was BP fastballs over the heart of the plate. He's trying to sneak him away. He's hitting 96 on those fastballs, and they're just not fast enough to be able to sneak there. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe you got to change your approach. Literally, as I'm typing that to our subtexters, he throws a changeup to Mullins, and Mullins smacks that one. So I'm like, okay, well, he got a one slider that worked on the corner for a swinging strike 3. But that's about it. The slider is flat. The fastball is leaking. The changeup is leaking. There is no bite to any of his breaking stuff. The fastball has no ride, no tail, and it's bizarre. It's really bizarre. It's just everything's flat.
Yeah, because it's one thing watching it in real time, but in the post game, when they were showing pitch after pitch for hit after hit, and you saw where the ball was landing, like, I get it's a TV zone, but still, the balls were all in the zone and either middle up, middle down, but all just for them to feast on. It was unbelievable.
You mentioned in the post game there, Sevy, very degented, and it's tough to watch. It's very tough to watch. You're absolutely rooting for him to figure it out. But it's really hard when you can't point to one thing. And that's what seems to be the issue right now, not only for Severino, but for Matt Blake. And I got to imagine Sam Breen. Like, they all have to be like, I don't know. Cause that was the other thing I was telling subtexters. I'm like, his velo's still there.
Yes.
Like, the velo's there, and you could look at that and be like, okay, well, the velo isn't there and the spin rate isn't there. Like, you can kind of point to these things, but those things aren't here.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. It's just, he's just not executing. The pitches are not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, because when you look at Baseball Savant, I looked at it, when did I go? I think it was the 7th or 8th inning, and he had the highest velo for all the pitches. Like, he had the top 5 velocity pitches in the game out of everyone, and it's just, that's not the issue. And as you said, they cannot figure it out. He said it in the post game. They're trying to figure it out. He talks to Trevi, he talks to Higgy. He talks with Boone. They look at film. He even talks to the guys on the team who were hitters and behind him and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And he just can't. And I've never seen Luis Severino that dejected in a post game. It was really depressing to watch him because he has no idea what is going on with him. And, you know, as you were saying about all the different pitches, one of the beat writers asked, how do you feel about your slider? He goes, I don't really like any of my pitches right now. None of them are working. And he said that he's going to take this break because this is his last start before the All-Star break. So he's going to have a whole bunch of time to think about this. He's not going to. He says he's going to take a mental break from baseball and just kind of give himself a break.
Hope he figures it out soon. Hey, Stacey, the Yankees lose 14-1. And of course, before the series started, as we have been doing over the last couple of series, we made some bold predictions. So let's go back to the show on Monday to see if our bold predictions came true. I'll tell you what a bold prediction is. Calling for an Anthony Volpe 2-home-run game. I'm not doing that again. Bold this time. It will be Randy Vasquez on Wednesday, and Randy Vasquez will have the best start out of any Yankee starter in this series.
That is bold. That is bold. I'll say the Yankees are going to split. They're going to split.
No, I'm vetoing that. I'm vetoing that. That's not bold at all.
Severino goes 6 and only gives up 2 runs. Come on. After the way he pitched the last time and the way he's pitched.
Bold. Stacey, bold is shut out. Come on.
Oh, all right. Fine. 6 innings, no runs.
I bullied you. Into
You
that.
bullied me. My first prediction was right.
You were right. I will give you that, but that wasn't final answer there, Regis.
Because you bullied me.
I win again. I won again. I was right. Randy Vasquez has the best start out of any Yankee starter.
Yeah, that's true.
At the time, it wasn't Vasquez wasn't listed to pitch on Wednesday, so I'm 2 for there. All I'm saying is scoreboard 2-0. I'll give you a half point.
Thank you.
But again, it's bold predictions. It's not predictions.
All right. I'll be better with our predictions later.
Yeah, we have them later on in the show. Hey, editing Steve here, and realized we made a mistake before having this conversation about Davy Garcia. After the game, Davy was optioned to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. We thought he was out of options, and he actually does have one left here. So this next conversation we're having doesn't have a lot to do with a lot of stuff, but Davey did get optioned after the game, so he does not have to go on waivers. Just wanted to make sure that is cleared up before you hear the rest of this conversation. Stacey, one other move here before we get out for a split second. Davey got called up. Davey Garcia, of course, called up. He is out of options. And not only that, Anthony Misevich, left-handed reliever, claimed from the Tigers. Of course, he's now with Scranton Wilkes-Barre. So there's no 40-man spot for Carlos Rodon, of course, as of the recording of this. I texted you about my conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. I'd like to share that. I think they called Davey up so they could not be able to option him down, meaning they would have to put him on waivers to get him off the 40-man. I think that's what their plan is. Because otherwise, why do you pick up Misevich?
Right.
And call up Davey. I mean, Davey obviously ended up pitching.
Yeah.
But
he pitched better than Abreu and Severino.
Yeah, he did.
We didn't even mention Abreu.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah, didn't look good at all. Sheesh. Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of an odd sequence of events, considering that we were predicting like, oh yeah, well they'll probably call for a reliever, maybe they'll call Crook or something, and then whatever, move on, option him down, get Carlos there, boom. And with the Jimmy Cordero thing, you were like, okay, well that frees up the 40-man spot because remember Rodon's on the 60. So, man, imagine saying that to somebody who has no idea how baseball rosters work.
You mean like me? I still don't understand.
Well, you can send him down. He's in the 40 and the 60 and the 60 and the 15 and the 10.
I know. It's too many numbers for me in my brain. I can't.
It's like me explaining directions here in California.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just curious. It's just very curious. Of course, maybe by the time you're watching this, it's moot and the move has already been made. I mean, Rodon will be pitching on Friday against Jamison Tyone, weirdly enough, and the Cubs to open up that 3-game series before the All-Star break. So I don't know. I mean, Misevich is kind of a journeyman at this point. I mean, They finally got a left-handed reliever.
Yeah, who had what was his ERA? It was someone put it on Twitter. It was real. Why were you picking this guy up? He has like an 8 ERA. It's like, I don't know. It's a body, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's
that's
got a
what the
big curveball. Like he's nothing crazy, but yeah, again, it's just kind of. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Again, by the time you're watching this, is probably the move may have already been done
right.
to get Rodon, and we'll see if they end up putting Davey on waivers. Again, if he does that and he clears waivers, then that means he can get outrighted to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. He has no say into that. If it happens again, then he has say in it. The old Estevan Florial rule that we have learned this year. But yeah, we'll see if he ends up clearing. That would clear a 40-man spot. So there was that. That would obviously become later though, because it takes a few days to go through waivers. We'll see. Hey, drop your questions for Fanmail Friday, because of course it's Fanmail Friday today. We're going to answer some of your questions here. If you want to skip the line, you can join our subtext and of course have one-on-one text conversations with us. There's a 14-day free trial down in the episode description. When we come back, we're going to start answering some of those questions.
Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Steve's been using it this season, and he absolutely loves it. They have killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, so you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Game Time also has flash deals and last-minute tickets. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area, and they even give you images of your seat views so you know what you'll be seeing. With their lowest price guarantee and even event cancellation protection, Game Time is the best place to buy tickets in just a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're set. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Back now here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, to the everydayers out there, you guys already know Miners Monday is coming up over the weekend, of course, into the All-Star break. We're not only going to do Miners Monday, but of course, we also are going to tell you all about whoever the Yankees pick in the first round. Their first round draft pick comes on Sunday, so make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss that episode and that analysis coming up in just a couple of days. You can catch the Cubs series, which starts tonight, 3-game set to wrap up the proverbial first half, all of it on Sirius XM. And just self-plug, I'll be doing some play-by-play this weekend as well, calling some low-A baseball for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, the Dodgers system. So you can follow me on Twitter for all the links for all that good stuff. If you're into that kind of thing, want to listen to some minor league baseball this weekend, should be fun. Hey, Stacy, it's Miners Monday. No, it's not. It's Fanmail Friday. My brain's all over the place. It's Fanmail Friday. We have subtexters questions first, as always, because, of course, they get Fanmail Friday priority. This is coming from Bruce. Stace, here's the first question. With no Judge for a good part of the season, will we be sellers or buyers? Stace, we had a whole segment not too long ago dedicated to both of those scenarios, what the Yankees would do. But of course, it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since we made that episode. Stacy, buyers, sellers?
Again, I think it depends on where they are by the deadline, like how far above 500 or close to 500 they are by then, because who knows how they're going to be after the All-Star break. But if they're still within a playoff spot, why would they sell? There's 3 wild card spots. If they get one of them, you know what I mean? Like I don't think that they would sell. I don't think they would.
Wow. Just because I like always doing this whenever you answer one way. Sellers. Thanks for your question, Bruce, and thanks for being a subtexter. Really appreciate you being part of Generation 1 here on our subtext group. One more from subtext. Stacy Bet says, what do you think their plans are for Donaldson? The big question. The new Aaron Hicks. Stacy, what are the Yankees' plans for Josh Donaldson?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. We look at these questions beforehand, so we have an idea of what we're going to say. But this is the one question that's tripped me up. I have no idea what they're doing with him. I really don't. I just don't understand why they keep sending him out there when they could possibly have better options that aren't there yet, that they could call up, that could maybe play third, or they could shuffle around. And I don't know. Like I said, in that one episode when we talked about Donaldson, I feel like the fact that he said he was thinking about retiring after this season kind of tied the Yankees' hands, because they don't want to be known as the ones who jettisoned Josh Donaldson. But people are like, well, they did it to A-Rod. A-Rod was a whole different thing. A-Rod was a headache for the Yankees, where Donaldson, he may not be playing well, but he's not really a headache for them. It's, yeah.
Let's go to the next question, which also has to do with Donaldson. Thank you, Bet, for being a subtexter, and I've really appreciated texting with you. By the way, I really like talking to you. This is coming from Robbie Garns 7732 on YouTube. Is there a potential trade for Donaldson anywhere? If not, will he be DFA'd during the trade deadline? So as far as trades are concerned, I think you have to realize we tried to liken it a little bit to the Joey Gallo situation, but as you so rightfully pointed out, Gallo is very different than Donaldson because of age. And contract status in that regard. So as far as Donaldson is concerned in a potential trade, he's a favor, right, for the Yankees. We'll give you this, but you got to take this. That's how other teams are going to look at that. Maybe some other teams might see something out of Donaldson that they like. They might see the power numbers and like that this year. In regards to contact, obviously it's not there, but power is definitely there for whatever reason. So a team might be looking to that for, DH purposes, backup DH purposes, backup third baseman purposes. But I'm kind of stretching there to be totally honest with you. The Yankees will use all their resources to try and figure out what to do. But I think without Oswald playing incredibly out of his mind right now because of that injury he was dealing with in June, that kind of slowed the process. If he had kept playing in May and playing in June like he did in May, I think Donaldson would have been gone by now. But that's just the situation. One more here in the segment, Stacey. This is coming from Matt Johnson, 6606. Philosophical question. Would the Yankees be winning the division if Judge, Bader, and Rodon had been healthy all season? Stacey, would that have been enough to leapfrog over Tampa Bay and Baltimore?
I don't know if they'd be leading the division, but I think it'd be a lot closer. I could see them leapfrogging over Baltimore. Like if they were all healthy and everyone was actually hitting, sure. Yeah. No, I don't think they'd be winning the division, but they'd be closer than they are now. And
it's
more
pretty
above
tough to beat that April.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Almost perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really tough to have done better than Tampa Bay was doing in April. And of course, they did not play well this week, but I mean, still a tough hill to climb. So I'm going to go ahead and stick right there with you. I don't think they would have been leading, but I think they would have been a close second, maybe like 3 games back.
Yeah. It would be within reach. Like they could reach
absolutely
out and touch the back of Tampa's jerseys.
Oh yeah. They'd have one of the probably top 5 record in baseball. I'd say that much. Thanks for your question, Matt and Robbie and everybody who's been a part so far. We have more questions and bold predictions when we come back. Back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, don't forget the Cubs series is starting tonight, and all the action can be heard on Sirius XM. Stace, more questions. Couple of more here. This is coming from Jaime Cervantes 9533, a regular here on Fanmail Friday. When Rodon/Cortez come back to the Yankees rotation, who would be your 5th starter? Would it be Herman or Schmidt? Well, we might need both of them.
Yeah.
Considering how Sevy's pitching. This is before Sevy's outing.
Yeah. If Sevy had rebounded a little bit and shown something, then maybe I'd say, this is tough between the two of them.
Domingo.
Yeah, I think because of the experience that he has being in the rotation, where Schmidt, this is really his first shot at it. And I feel like Schmidt could help the bullpen more than Herman would help the bullpen.
Well, remember, I think it comes down to the 5th and 6th innings.
Yeah.
For Schmidt. It's just really been terrible in the 5th and 6th inning.
Yeah.
So what are you getting starter-wise out of that?
Right. And I think
you have a decent enough sample size at this point to realize that that's an issue.
Yeah. So I would say Herman.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I know.
I mean, it's all in flux right now. They're just trying to get to the deadline or to the break.
Really?
Like everybody's just trying to get the Tampa Bay trying to get to the break. The Angels are just trying to get to the break. The Dodgers with their bullpen are just trying to get to the break. Like everyone's just trying to get to the break.
The Rangers also, they're kind of falling off a little bit. It's like, oh my God, let's just get there.
It was like, it needs to be Monday. One more, Stacy, for today. Wow, this is a really long username. I'm just going to say Joseph. You can see it if you're on the YouTube side. If each one of you had a chance to be the GM of the Yankees, what moves would you recommend Hal Steinbrenner do to improve the club? Stacy, GM for a day. What are you doing?
Left-handed batters. We need more left-handed batters. The team was really good when they had switch hitters. Like Posada, like Tex, like, people like that. When you had big lefties in the lineup, Giambi, like I'm going back like 20 years, but still, like, some of those lineups, even though those teams didn't win, were frightening when you looked at them. And then you had like Sheffield batting righty and A-Rod and Jeter batting righty, but you still had those guys batting lefty, Matsui, like someone like that. I just miss the variety in the lineup, and I feel like it's hindered them the last how many years that they've been so righty heavy, and also more left-handed pitching. I know left-handers are rare, but I feel like you've always said they need at least one more left. Just let's go with left things. That's what they need.
Everything you own in a box. So you're saying go after Cody Bellinger?
I don't know about that.
Biggest left-handed bat on the market.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be something though. And
could play left.
Especially with his father's history and everything. That could be interesting.
Good kid. Cody Bellinger's a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think look, I like Josh Donaldson as a dude, but I think you move on from Donaldson and you give Oswald the shot.
Yeah, like why not? That's what I was saying earlier. That's what I was alluding to. Just give him a shot. You gave him a shot last year, but it wasn't enough of a shot, and then you didn't give him another shot. And he proved he could play in the playoffs. I mean, he made some really cool plays, him and Glaber, and I mean that's especially in Houston in the ALCS. I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a kid, and I don't know. God, some of the decisions they make are just mind-boggling. I don't understand.
I love Oswald. I love his swing. Watched him all last season. I love his makeup. I love his approach. You're hard pressed to find anything I dislike about Oswald Peraza. And
look at how Volpe's turned it around. Peraza could do the same thing if you give him regular at bats, and just think of those two together, how cool it could be.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, thanks guys for all your questions. And if you did not get your questions answered, of course, and you want to guarantee that you get your questions answered, you can sign up for our subtext. And if you have one burning question or like two burning questions, you can just sign up for subtext for that free 14-day trial. It's in the episode description. And if you like it, you can hang around for a little while. It's only $5 a month. But I feel like everybody's saying it's only $5 a month. Sorry. It's like the Patreon thing of the world. Yeah, it's only $5 a month. And Netflix, it's only like $8 a month. And you're like, it's the price of a cup of coffee. Look, money's tight. I know. I don't got any of it either. Stacy, bold predictions here before we get out. Final weekend set of the first half. Bold predictions, Cup Series. Try not to look bad on Monday. What are your bold predictions?
God, I was thinking of something, but now I don't think it's bold enough. I'll say they sweep again, like I said about the Cardinals.
You say the Yankees sweep Chicago.
Yeah, I do. I think they're gonna. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna say they're gonna sweep because I'm thinking Jameson Taillon has been horrible this year, and he's gonna shut them out tonight. I know it. So just think the opposite of my prediction. It's probably going to happen.
Say Rizzo finally homers. But the Yankees score a combined 6 runs over the 3-game series. Bold, Stace. Bold.
I hope not. God.
Hey, but Rizzo homers.
I mean, if I were going to go bold, I'd be like, the Yankees are going to score 20 runs this series, because they can't even. I mean, what is it with them with blowout games? They always tend to score like 1 run in the 9th. It's like, oh no, we can't be shut out. Let's score.
Like,
one run.
We gotta make sure that gets out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how it be sometimes, Stace. But hey, thanks for checking us out here today. Of course, you can drop your questions for Fanmail Friday and the subtext stuff. I tell you guys this every day. If you're an everyday, you're already sick of me hearing this. You're already turning this episode off. You're like, oh my gosh, Steve. All right, I got to get to work. But hey, that's going to do it for today. Of course, coming up on Monday, Miners Monday as always. We're going to talk about Chase Hampton, by the way. Just had a 10 strikeout performance on Thursday night, so you don't want to miss that conversation about Chase Hampton and some other top performers in the Yankee system, as well as quick draft analysis of the first round pick the Yankees have, 29th overall, I believe, on Sunday. So make sure to stick around on Monday for that. Hit that subscribe button, and you will not miss it. And that's going to do it for this week's Locked On Yankees. Happy All-Star break. We'll talk to you during it. And that's going to do it for today. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you on Monday.